following the official announcement of Kawasaki's two-stroke comeback with the KX327 and 327X, which we covered in the last video, the internet hasn't exactly calmed down. In fact, things are heating up. On one side, excitement is through the roof because we finally have a more budget-friendly Japanese alternative to challenge European dominance. There's a lot of hype floating around, and on paper both models look pretty promising, which was my initial takeaway too. But on the flip side, the release timeline and a few unconventional technical details are starting to spark a lot of speculation and debate among riders. Is this bike truly ready to shake up the market, or is Team Green just putting out a market feeler? Today, we're going to break down the pros and cons and look into the theories behind this 3027cc machine, a bike some are already calling a piece of vaporware. One of the biggest red flags for analysts is the launch timeline. This unit was announced in mid-2026, but it isn't scheduled to hit dealership floors until model year 2027. That's almost a full year's gap, which has triggered suspicions that Kawasaki's mass production line isn't actually ready yet. Crucially, we haven't seen any official footage or B-roll. Everything shown so far has just been static renders. Many strongly suspect that Kawasaki dropped these specs early as a form of live market research. They want to gauge real-time consumer interest and reactions before committing to final production volumes, or maybe even revising certain parts later on. Because of this, potential buyers are worried that first-generation owners might end up acting as field beta testers for this brand new 3027cc power plant. That said, when it comes to brand reputation, Kawasaki is known for making things that last. Let's look at the skeptics' camp first. The biggest criticism hits the engine capacity itself, 327cc. This odd displacement leaves the bike as a bit of a tweener, especially for the motocross spec KX327. In professional motocross like MXGP or AMA, Premier Class regulations cap two strokes at 250cc to compete against 450cc four strokes. At 327cc, this bike is automatically over capacity. It has no place in official, regular racing classes, leading many to believe it was built purely for the nostalgia market or vet riders looking for personal fun at the local track. Now, for the cross-country version, the 3027X, this displacement is perfectly legal for open classes like GNCC XC1 in the US or the E3 class in FIM EnduroGP. However, forcing a 327cc two-stroke to go head-to-head against massive four-stroke monsters pushing 500cc and above in those classes is still going to be an uphill battle. Then there's the choice to stick with a manual premix system, which has drawn plenty of flack. At a time when European competitors like KTM and Husqvarna are spoiling riders with separate, automatic electronic oil injection pumps, Kawasaki's decision to make riders mix fuel and oil in the tank feels like a step backward for a modern bike. Though, as I mentioned in the previous video, there's still a huge crowd that actually loves the premix ritual. Environmental analysts have also pointed out that reviving a large capacity two-stroke seems to go against global trends, demanding cleaner emissions. Finally, for the die-hard Kawasaki loyalists or those chasing true nostalgia, this odd displacement feels like a missed opportunity. They were desperately craving the rebirth of a true monster legend, a modern KX500. However, those supporting the bike see these exact same points from a completely different angle. For them, Kawasaki's move is a heroic return by a Japanese manufacturer, one that could break Europe's absolute monopoly on full-size two-strokes after an absence of nearly 2 decades. The value proposition remains the main draw, with an estimated global price tag between $9,100 and $9,700. This bike is poised to undercut premium European 300cc dirt bikes, which routinely cross the $11,000 mark. Engineering-wise, plenty of people are fascinated by this chassis and engine mashup. By dropping the motor into a frame based on the KX450F, they've managed to keep the weight down to around 234 pounds or roughly 106 kilograms. This delivers a highly coveted combination, the brutal power of a big bore two-stroke, but managed by a chassis that offers the slim, agile handling of a 250cc class machine. Plus, any worries about the power band being too wild are answered by the inclusion of an electronic power valve and dual injectors. This progressive fueling system is expected to tame the torque, making the low to mid-range power delivery incredibly linear, flat, and predictable when tackling the most technical enduro trails. The KX327 lineup isn't just a random experiment from a brand unfamiliar with two-strokes. We know Kawasaki has a rich history with the legendary KX500, and they never truly killed off their small-bore two-strokes anyway. Releasing this 3027cc engine is a strategic maneuver to reclaim a throne long occupied by European brands. To the skeptics, this bike is a market-testing project caught in a regulatory gray area for motocross and slightly impractical due to its pre-mix setup. But to the enthusiasts, it's the answer to a long-awaited dream, a lightweight, powerful, large-capacity Japanese two-stroke at a much more reasonable price point. Are you team wait and see because you spot the value, or are you backing off because you don't want to be a beta tester? And what do you think about that odd 327cc displacement? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.